years, this exact spot on Earth never moved an inch. But everything around it changed. Right here, where you're about to watch history unfold, there was once nothing but silence. Trees. A river. The sound of wind moving through leaves that no one had ever named. That silence would not last. Because something was coming that this land had never seen before, and once it arrived, it would never truly leave. This is one street, one camera angle, one tiny piece of Manhattan, and in the next few minutes, you're going to watch it live through war, fire, ice, wealth, ruin, and rebirth over and over again. It starts in the year 1198. The Lenape people call this land home. They know its rivers, its seasons, its rhythms. There are no roads here, no buildings, no noise except nature itself. For nearly 300 years, almost nothing changes. Then, in the distance, something appears on the water. Something the Lenape have never seen before. Ships. European ships, cutting through the harbor, carrying people who don't yet understand this land, and who have no intention of leaving it alone. Within a few generations, wooden colonial homes rise where longhouses once stood. Fields are cleared, fences go up. A new world is being built on top of an old one, but new worlds don't get built peacefully. By 1776, the street is no longer just a home, it's a battlefield. Cannon smoke rolls between the buildings. Soldiers in red and blue collide in the street. A nation is trying to be born, and this small patch of Manhattan is caught right in the middle of the labor pains. The fighting ends, the smoke clears, and slowly, painfully, something new begins to grow from the ashes of the old. Brick replaces wood. Streets widen. The wilderness that once defined this place is almost completely gone now, buried under the weight of ambition. By the 1840s, this is no longer a settlement, it's becoming a city. Horse-drawn omnibuses rattle down the street. Merchants shout. Smoke rises from 1,000 chimneys instead of one. But growth always comes with a price. In 1863, that price is paid in blood. The Civil War tears the country apart, and the violence doesn't stay on distant battlefields. It explodes right here, in the streets, as riots turn neighbor against neighbor. Just when it seems the city has suffered enough, nature delivers its own verdict. 1888. A blizzard unlike anything this street has ever recorded. Snow doesn't just fall, it buries. Power lines collapse under the weight of ice. The city that thought it was becoming unstoppable is suddenly, completely humbled by weather. But cities like this one don't stay down for long. Because something extraordinary is coming. Something that will change the skyline forever. The wires that once tangled the sky like spiderwebs begin to disappear underground. In their place, light. Electric light. Neon signs advertising Coca-Cola and Chevrolet blink to life for the very first time, turning night into something almost as bright as day. And then, in 1930, the moment arrives that this story has been building toward without you even realizing it. Steel begins climbing into the sky, floor by floor, week by week, faster than anyone thought possible. The Empire State Building isn't just being constructed, it's being willed into existence by a city that refuses to be told what's impossible. When it's finished, it doesn't just change the skyline, it becomes the skyline. But triumph in this story never lasts uninterrupted. Because just 1 year later, the celebration turns to silence. The stock market collapses, fortunes vanish overnight. The same street that once buzzed with ambition now moves slower, quieter, weighed down by fear instead of excitement. The Great Depression doesn't ask permission. It simply arrives, and it stays. For over a decade, this city holds its breath. Then, in 1945, it finally exhales. Confetti falls like snow. Strangers embrace in the street. Military vehicles roll past cheering crowds. The war is over, and for one unforgettable moment, this single street becomes the beating heart of a nation's relief. Decades pass. The city doesn't slow down. It accelerates. Yellow taxis flood the streets in the 70s and 80s, weaving through traffic like blood cells through a vein. This is a city running at full speed now, restless, electric, alive in a way it has never been before. Every November, the same street becomes something else entirely. a stage for giant balloons and marching bands as the Thanksgiving Day parade turns chaos into celebration year after year. But this story isn't finished testing this city. Not even close. In September of 2001, the sky changes color. Smoke rises in the distance, the kind of smoke a city never forgets. For a moment, the street goes still, watching, disbelieving, grieving something too large to fully understand yet. And still, somehow, life continues. 11 years later, the sky turns violent again. Hurricane Sandy tears through in 2012, hurling debris through streets that have survived war, depression, and terror, and somehow once again survives this too. Then comes a threat no camera, no building, no army could stop. 2020. The street that has never once in 800 years gone completely silent goes silent. No taxis, no crowds, no parades. Just one masked figure, walking alone down a street built for millions in a city that suddenly feels like it's holding its breath again. But if this story has taught you anything by now, it's this. This street does not stay empty. Slowly, the lights come back on. The sidewalks fill again. The noise returns, not because nothing happened, but because this place has never once, in 8 centuries, allowed silence to be the final word. Forests became footpaths. Footpaths became roads. Roads became a battlefield, a marketplace, a graveyard, a celebration, and a survivor. All in the exact same 40 feet of pavement. Nothing here was ever permanent, except the will to keep rebuilding. And that's the real story of this street, not the buildings that rose or the ones that fell, but the fact that no matter what history threw at this exact spot on Earth, something always came back.